Okay? Challenge accepted. Let's talk about the world's slowest mammal. For those of you who are already typing out your answers in the comments, hold it right there. That could be the manatee. They get their own special prize for being both the slowest and laziest mammal, although technically it's not a mammal. And flightless birds don't really count because they can't fly. So let's talk about penguins. Who could possibly be slower than a penguin? No, the world's slowest animal is actually this. Yep, this little guy here is the world's slowest animal. Now some of you commenters are probably thinking that I'm playing you, but I'm not. I'm being totally serious. Unless you're this guy, then you're just slow. There is actually a scientific study that proves that this drunk cricket is 14 times slower than a sloth. And yeah, I realize that sloths aren't known for their speed. But apparently 14 times slower than a sloth is still not the absolute slowest thing in the universe. I mean, there are particles that move faster than that. He's actually 14 times slower than a sloth. And the scientific data is absolutely undeniable. Here's a graph showing the average speed of a variety of animals. And you can clearly see that the little guy is the slowest. Well, how about a penguin that's stuck in the desert? And the answer might surprise you, because this little guy is actually an insect, specifically a species of cricket. And yes, insects are technically not mammals, which means that the world's slowest mammal is actually this guy, the brown thrasher. Now, you're probably wondering why on earth this cricket is so slow. And the answer is actually pretty simple. This cricket is totally drunk all the time. Seriously, check out how drunk he is. I mean, look at him. You don't need to be a scientist to figure out that this guy is completely drunk. Look at this guy. He's so slow. I bet he couldn't even swim fast enough to save his life. Wait, no, he can't do that either. I guess he's just a very slow penguin. Okay, well, how about the giant tortoise? The Galapagos Islands are full of super slow guys. Or maybe the brown-throated sloth. Actually, scratch that. These guys are too fast. Check out how fast they can climb. It's insane, right? So maybe it's better to talk about the slowest bird. There actually isn't a definitively agreed-upon slowest mammal. It just depends on how you define slow. If we're talking about a land mammal, then the title would probably go to a sloth. But sloths spend a lot of time climbing trees, so maybe they aren't the world's slowest at that. And there are plenty of other contenders for the title of slowest climber, like these two-toed sloths. There's actually two kinds of sloths, two-toed and three-toed. And fun fact, the only difference between them is the number of toes they have on their hands. They move so slowly that it basically becomes a superpower. In fact, there's a sloth in Costa Rica that has earned the nickname Flash because he moves 30% faster than other sloths, and even Flash can't outrun me. Not that I would want to outrun a sloth. I mean, have you smelled one? They don't exactly smell like roses. So maybe we should be talking about the slowest swimmer. Now, birds can fly, so they're definitely out. I don't want to talk about extinct animals, so that rules out the dodo bird.
Out.
But none of this matters anyway, because the world's slowest animal isn't a sloth or a manatee or a penguin or any of those other losers I mentioned before. Now you're probably wondering what kind of animal is so slow that even a sloth would consider him a slacker. Look, I'm not sure why this cricket is always drunk, but it's definitely a good strategy if you're trying to be the world's slowest animal. So next time somebody tries to insult you by calling you slow, just remember there's always somebody slower.